Ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, hi guys, and thank you so much for tuning into our channel. My name's Rachel.
And I am Jared.
And we are the Healthy Happy Halls. And this is our first video. Well, kind of. Sort of.
Sort of.
First official episode in our
brand spanking new lifestyle. RVing full-time.
Yes. So in this video, we're going to be sharing with you why did we decide to go full-time living in an RV with our 2 kids. And so we hope to share that with you in this video.
Why we've lost our minds.
Why we've lost our marbles. No, but really we want to share with you why, and we're going to do a little bit of Q&A. Some of you shared with us your questions, and we hope to answer them as best as we can. Some of them we may not be able to answer fully because we're not quite living it yet. We're in transition right now.
So I think this is day number 4 that we've been in the camper. So the day before Thanksgiving, we went ahead and hooked in and started moving in. We're set up at a state park down the street from us. Yeah. And this is the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So first we're going to just tell you a little bit about ourselves and give you some backstory to maybe fill in the blanks to bring you up to date on how we got here. So you want to go ahead and share that?
Sure. Well, I work and fortunate enough to work in a growing industry in natural gas and oil. I do data communications, and I am fortunate enough to be on the ground floor of a growing company, and we are moving our main offices just south of the Pittsburgh. So we are going to be switching locations from Ohio to Pittsburgh. It's an exciting time, but with that comes a move. So with that move, we decided to go ahead and consider all the possibilities. We have a house now. It's over 2,000 square feet. We have 2 kids, and usually we're kind of hanging out in the same area, and it's a lot to keep up with. So we started off looking at the tiny house movement. We know we wanted to scale down. We weren't sure how small or in what way.
Right. And just a little bit more backstory too. My vocation is that of a health coach. And interestingly enough, I had been building my business in the Pittsburgh area back in January before Jared even knew that this was coming. So I feel as though, God has everything laid out for us, and we're just following him as he guides us both. And so it's kind of interesting that both of our careers are leading us into that area. And I'm excited about exploring alternatives. I've never been the kind of person to really do what everybody else is doing. So I'm up for adventure, and I'm so glad that my hubby is up for adventure as well. But at any rate, we started to explore tiny houses, and we first met this really great Amish man who
We did.
He had all these cool model homes to show us. He's been in the building industry for 30 plus years, and ever since the tiny house movement took off, he really got into that. And he actually, it's only a 45-minute drive north of us. So we got to explore that, and then somehow we came across full-time families living in RVs, and I didn't even know it was a thing. I grew up camping. I love camping. I've never camped in an RV, but it intrigued me. And actually a close friend of mine had been posting on Facebook her journey as well, so we got to chat with them, and I don't know, it just became this thing where we were like, well, what if? And so we went to the Hershey RV show and tell them what we did there.
The rest is history. We started this process about 6 months ago, 5 months ago, from where we are today, and one thing led to another. We wanted to think outside the box, consider all the opportunities and options that were available. A little hesitant to just jump in and buy another house right away in an area we didn't know very well. We did that once, which is where we landed where we are, which thankfully is we're happy with the house we have, but we know we wanted to scale back the pace of life. So we started looking at the tiny homes, ended up looking at RVs really thanks to YouTube. We're just looking around at different options. One of the channels that we started to watch right away was with
Mark and Trisha.
Mark and Trisha Leach on
Yes.
Keep Your Daydreams. So if you want to look up
Shout
a
out.
YouTube channel.
Shout out to that couple. They're an amazing family, and we've learned so much from them already.
We have, and there's many on there.
Less Junk, More Journey,
yep.
and
it's a great resource. But you know, at first I thought my wife lost her marbles. She was the first one to come up with this idea of living in an RV full time, and growing up, I just, you know, the ideal was to have a house and raise a family, and to stray away from that took a little convincing on my part, but my wife stuck to it, and
I was all for it because
eventually I came around.
I just dreamed of having a smaller space where there would be less to clean, less to take care of. I could enjoy more time with my family, and I love traveling. I love exploring and adventures, and you know, you typically think of people pursuing this that are retired or whatnot, but that is not us, and that's actually one of the questions we got, but
yep, we'll come back to that one.
We'll address that later. But yeah, we're very excited, and so we're hoping that in this video, as we share with you why we're doing what we're doing, that our values are really going to come through in that. And as we share with you those values, we believe that this lifestyle aligns more with those values that we have, but we also want to acknowledge the fact that, you know, we're going for this not really knowing what's going to happen, whether it will truly be something that we both enjoy and love. And so we're really keeping ourselves open-minded to the fact that it may not be our thing.
May not in the long run. We figured what it boiled down to is we didn't want to live with regrets, and either way a change was coming. Either way we were moving. So we figured at worst we could hop into an RV, see what it was like. If we didn't like it, we could stay here until we found a house where we did like and we knew the area. And then we would have a camper at the end of it. Or we could sell it. We got a great deal on this one. So really, there's not a whole lot to lose.
Right, you can't go wrong, and I've always lived with the philosophy that you should, you know, not live with regret, but that you should go for it and try it, and you don't know until you try. So, so that's kind of how we've been going about this whole thing.
That's it. So I guess we should dive right into the the first question here, which is,
What did we buy?
What did we buy?
What did we get?
We bought a 41-foot fifth wheel. It's made by Grand Design RV, and we bought the mid-bunk model Solitude. So it's a 377 MBS, and I think we're happy with it.
Yeah.
We like the model. We like the versatility of the mid-bunk. It has a loft above the mid-bunk, so our boy is staying in the loft, and he's 6 years old. And we have a daughter who's 10 who kind of has her own room in the mid-bunk. And then we have our own room at the front, and then a very generous living area that is behind us.
There's actually a lot of space in here.
There is.
It's like a mini apartment on wheels.
I think it's somewhere around just under 400 feet and square feet. And it's worked
cozy.
out really well. It has 4 distinct areas, so if we need to get away from each other, we can.
Right. That was actually the next question. Somebody asked, how do you handle alone time?
What do we do for alone time?
We don't really know that because we're not.
This is assuming that we got a lot of alone time before we lived in an RV.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, we've been in here 4 days. I'm sure there will be some things to learn.
And it hasn't snowed yet. We'll be living in a place where we'll probably get some snow.
Yep.
And there may be a little bit more cabin fever, but I think for us, like, we love being outdoors. We are hoping that this lifestyle will force us to be outside more, especially during the wintertime.
Yep. Yeah, we like to do some outdoor activities even when it's cold.
Yeah.
We'll be in the Pittsburgh area. We've already for the last year had passes to the Carnegie Museums, so we can run out there with the kids. And as far as alone time goes, you know, we have regular residential doors and they shut, and we lock, and if a door's shut we have a no knocking policy, or a knock before you enter policy. So I don't see it as being too much of an issue, but time will tell on that.
Yeah, and with our daughter being, almost preteen, we figured having the mid-bug situation would be more ideal for her because then she could have a totally separate room when she needs it. And our youngest, Tyler, he's just, he can go wherever.
That leads into question number 2. What do we do for activities for the kids? Well, our kids at the moment, maybe for the worse, are very addicted to their devices. So our youngest boy has a Kindle, and our daughter has a phone and a Kindle. And our son likes playing games. Our daughter's very creative on her devices. She loves
wants
making
her own
videos.
YouTube channel.
She does, and she's probably going to be better at it than we are.
Yes.
But she's very creative.
She's going to be our producer, director, and I don't know, whatever else.
But the kids, even beforehand, we like to do stuff together. We have the cabinets that you can see right behind my head are completely filled with board games and card games and different things like that. So we like to do that. We watch movies. We go outside. We were on a hike earlier today. It was beautiful. What you can't see is behind us, out these windows and off to the side windows, we are in the middle of the woods with a view of the lake.
It's beautiful.
And it is gorgeous. So we took a hike around the lake today.
It's so peaceful.
It is. And where we're going to be stationary at, and yes, we will be stationary most of the time, which will be in a separate question here in a moment. We have a 1,000,000-gallon pool. It's like a mini water park with slides, and there is volleyball court and a tree house and all kinds of cool things, big fields for the kids to run around. So
right, and we'll be meeting new people all the time because, the people who aren't permanent or semi-permanent like us will be able to meet new people and new friends.
Absolutely.
And there's a tree house, a majorly cool tree house.
There is.
It's better than the one that I had.
House. I wish I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah. But I think too, can we just touch on the homeschool thing?
Yeah.
Because I don't see that as
there is a question on what we're going to do for schooling for the kids.
Yeah.
So I'll let you handle this one.
Are we tying it into this one, or we just
run away with it.
Okay, we can edit that part.
We'll keep going.
We'll keep going. So the other activity for the kids, of course, would be that of homeschooling. So homeschooling is something that I always wanted to pursue, but it was one of those things where I don't know. I thought maybe it wasn't for me. I don't know if I could handle it, blah, blah, blah. And then when we were given this opportunity to transition, and I didn't want to throw the kids into a public school that, they didn't know mid-year, I thought this is probably the perfect timing. In fact, I felt like God was really pushing me out of my comfort zone. So interesting thing though, like the more you explore the things that you're not so sure of, it's the fear of the unknown, I think. And so you talk with people that are doing it and you begin to understand that there's more than one way to go about it. And so not that I don't have any fears or trepidations going into this homeschooling bit, but I'm actually very excited, and I'm more confident because I've got plenty of resources and plenty of people to connect with. In fact, there's a homeschooling family where we're going to stay, and I've already started to make friends with some of the co-ops of people who are, engaged in the local community. So I don't know, I'm really excited. I'm excited for the flexibility and just to be able to customize the kids' education. And this should probably be a totally separate video on this topic.
And we'll get into that. And
but
one of the question was, what can you do for school for kids? And this is one option. It's something that we've discussed and we weren't sure about right away. We were thinking about enrolling them. But we're going to take it on. We're going to be more involved in their education, and this will kind of force us to do that.
Well, I think with this lifestyle too, like in the schooling bit, like we wanted the kids to experience what they're studying.
Right.
And so even though we're going to be semi-permanent, we do want to travel and we do want to explore areas of our country as the kids are studying them. So.
Yep, absolutely. And it is only one option. Another option, most states offer some kind of charter school, which is a public version that's done over the computer with public school curriculum and public teachers. So that's an option, and we will actually be stationary most of the time, which we mentioned. So it would be possible for us to enroll in a regular brick and mortar school. We just choose not to. We're going to choose to take a more active role in their education, which kind of leads us to the next question: are we traveling? Yes and no. No, in that we're going to have a home base. We have an RV resort southeast of Pittsburgh, and we are going to be staying there full time. But we have goals of traveling. So we hope to travel kind of a weekend a month, maybe an extended weekend a month, and then once or twice a year have a bigger trip.
Mm-hmm.
So like we said, we both work. My work is location dependent. So I work in the tri-state area, West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. So I am not free to roam all over the country, and I'm very thankful for where I'm at and my opportunity, and I'm hoping that we can just take some side trips in amongst that.
Yeah, yeah.
So our next question is, what do we do for a mailing address? There are several things you could do for a mailing address. Like I said, we aren't specifically traveling. We'll have a home base, so we actually get to use the resort's address with our site number. So when we write that address, it'll just be the street address of our campground and then a number, kind of like an apartment number. Mm-hmm. So that's what we get to use. However, there are other options. You can use the UPS store, and that will give you a street address. And then if you're traveling full time, there are a multitude of services that you can use where they will get your mail. Escapees is one of them. And they will handle your mail for you. So you can choose to have that forwarded. You can choose to have that scanned and uploaded so you can look at it and read it yourself. But a Google search will turn up all that, or our favorite thing, a YouTube search, will turn up all that information for you. If traveling, do you pay taxes? Yes, there is no way to get around not paying taxes legally.
Death and taxes, it comes to everybody.
Taxes are a certainty. Even if we were traveling, you really need to domicile somewhere. I won't say it's impossible and you can't kind of go off the grid, so to speak. But for the average Joe, you will have a state that you domicile in.
Although you could choose the state that has the better tax options.
So I know that South Dakota, Texas, Florida are all very popular options for people that have their nomadic lifestyle.
That would be really cool.
There's no personal income tax, and they're a little more forgiving on certain things.
Yeah.
For us, we will take the full brunt of Pennsylvania's taxes and just live with it because that's where we're at at the moment.
The East Coast is a little bit more strict, I think, on everything.
Right.
It's the West Coast that, people go more loose.
That's true.
That's true.
And one thing to keep in mind, and this is another thing that you can search on Google or specifically YouTube, there's videos about it, is you tend to pay taxes where you are domiciled. And don't confuse domicile with residency. You can be a resident of multiple states, but you can usually pretty much only domicile in one state, that is where you will pay taxes. In our case, it will be Pennsylvania in both cases, but you can split that up or have multiple residences. And the next question is, this is a good one. Did I retire? No.
Wait, you skipped one.
Well, we'll go back to it.
Oh.
Did I retire? These questions are coming from friends of ours, which really means friends of my wife's.
What?
She has quite the social network. And
it's my job.
No, I certainly did not retire. I'm not looking to retire.
We have big financial goals, people. He needs to stay employed.
And I enjoy what I do, so it's not in the cards at the moment, nor is it something we're actively looking for. Which one did we skip? What are we going to do at the house?
Yeah, the house.
We currently still own our house. We have our house. So we are in the transition of moving.
It's kind of nice though, because initially I felt like the need to get everything done and the house on the market and everything before our move-in date, but now I feel more comfortable that we still have it to lean back on, and we don't have to feel as rushed. There's some house projects that need to get done, and I don't know.
Absolutely. We at first we were going to try and sell the house and move into this all at the same time, and we realized that
Too much.
That was crazy. So
Too much to chew.
we have 2 kids. We have busy schedules and lifestyles, and it didn't work out that well. So we went ahead. We bought the RV. We are moving into it currently. We've been in it for 4 days, and we have a goal of.
We made the decision to bring it out here to the state park as we transition and leave it here until we are ready to move.
Yes.
Which I think has been sweet.
It's been great. It gives us a chance. We're only 10 minutes away from our house, so we can run back and forth. If there's things we bring over that we decide we don't need, we can take them back. And if there's something that we decide we do need, we can run and get it. It's a very low pressure situation.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed this long weekend to take advantage of it. And but right now we have.
And we got some good practice too, because
we do.
We've got, being newbies, we've got all these systems to learn.
We are very green, so we have hooked it up and moved it 2 or 3 times now. We have electric here. We have to go to the dump station to dump, and also to fill our freshwater tank. So we are getting a little bit of practice. It's not exactly boondocking. We have electricity, but in the water sense, it is boondocking. So
right. And in that sense, though, like, we've been showering at the house to try to conserve water so we don't have to go and refill the tank as often as we might if we were officially boondocking.
We've tested all the systems here, but on a regular basis we are running home to
Kenzie tested our shower, and the rest of us have been showering at home, but we've slowly been moving things over. I'm actually surprised that, because we've been here for 3 or 4 days now, and we are pretty much all moved in.
We are. It went really well. And now
we're still trying to figure out where everything should go, and sometimes we forget where we've put stuff, but we're getting there.
In 5 days, though, we will break from this site and head towards Pittsburgh. So in a week from now, we will be settled into our new permanent spot, and then we will have about a hour and a half, 2-hour drive home when we forget something.
Yeah. But then that'll give us time to, enjoy the holidays, get it ready for the market, and then totally be free.
That's right.
From the brick and mortar to the RV full time.
And one last question.
Yes.
Where do we most want to go in our RV? And wow, narrowing it down to one spot, I don't think we've even touched the surface of where we would like to go, let alone where we most want to go.
Right.
We both really want to go out west. Except for a brief stint for a mission trip, I have not been out west.
I've been to Colorado. It was for a women's conference. I've been to California. That was for a youth conference. But just to go and explore and travel, I've not been out west. So
right, so we are looking forward to that. I'm not sure how that fits in with work and timeline, but time will tell. We'll plan that out this year and next year. But a couple other places. I grew up in Florida, and I would like to head back there and see family. And the kids have never been to Disney, so maybe Fort Wilderness will be in our future.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If you hear anything in the background, that would be our 6-year-old playing his game.
We can edit that part. All right.
And I think that was our last question.
That was our last question. So, first of all, just thank you so much for all of you who have been throwing lots of love our way, your prayers and support. We're very grateful for that. And we're also honored that you would take the time to tune in, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on our journey, because we're up for a big adventure, and we're looking forward to sharing what we learn along the way with all of you. So thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button, for liking this video, and also giving us your feedback, because the comments and the questions that you guys provide for us really give the content or the material that we can use for future videos. So if you liked this one, let us know. And if you'd like to see future things, that are geared more specific to various topics, then of course drop your feedback in the comments below.